Okay. So, I was recently having a conversation with a friend, and the friend brought to my attention, he liked my storytelling skills. And a lot of times when I'm speaking, I have to cut things short for Instagram. So, like, you know, a story necessarily, 3 minute story, 5 minute short stories, but a 1 minute short story is it's like a line. Like, it's kind of hard to, tell a complete story. So, I wanted to tell my story, man. I wanted to start telling my story, and I think I was gonna start doing it by that time when. So that time in college when, let's say a story. That time in college when I learned that women were sexual beings. So I think the biggest lesson that I ever learned in college that I was not prepared for, right? And this is like on a social, cultural, just everything, like in terms of experience. I wasn't prepared for the fact is this is a fact that women are sexual beings, and in college they get the opportunity to express themselves and to explore themselves in a way that wasn't common to me. So yeah, we got the stigmas of the promiscuous women, the whores, the hoes, and all that. And we got this idea of what they look like. They throw themselves at you, and just everything that's stereotypical about any woman that is sexually confident, right? And growing up in the urban environment and just growing up, period, being young, we accept these stereotypes. So I thought that only women who were hoes were promiscuous. Only women that were quote unquote hoes. Excuse me, I'm not calling nobody, who I know now that don't exist. But I thought that only women who threw themselves at men who had no morals and shit like that. I thought that's what sexually promiscuous was. And so when I got to college, I learned through multiple experiences that women were sexual beings, and it was something that I had to come to terms with. I'm like, so you just want to have sex with me, and you don't want nothing from me, and it was confusing, and I didn't know how to look at women, but I learned a certain respect for women and their sexuality through those experiences, because some of these women, they were empowered in a way that I'd never met before. They took control of their lives, and they didn't allow anybody to determine what they were going to do, what they were going to say, and how they was going to act. So one experience, a story, that time when I learned about women's sexuality is my freshman year. So I'm a freshman in college. I'm a commuter at this point. It's my first semester, my actual first full semester in college. So I'm pretty much as focused as I'm going to be. I'm thinking this is going to be extremely difficult. I'm nervous, I'm scared, and I'm putting all my focus into school. And so I don't know if I've ever said this before, but it's my first semester, and I majored in chemistry. Now, I don't know about any other major, so I'm not gonna try to down talk anybody other major. I'm not gonna say criminal justice, sociology, communications. I'm not gonna say they're not real majors, but just from my experience, when you majoring in a STEM, it's a different rigor in terms of how hard it is. So I was studying chemistry, and I had this chemistry class my freshman year. I had this. It wasn't even a major chemistry class, and that's another that time video. That time when I listened to the advisor and he gave me the wrong advice. But I wound up taking this chemistry class, and in the first couple days of the class, I meet this lady, Caucasian girl. For me, that was a big deal because I never had I tell people all the time, I went to school with black people my entire life. I've only had one person in my class that wasn't black at any given time in my life. In 1 year, well, for every year of my life that I've been in school, it's only been one person that wasn't black in my class, and it's usually a Hispanic or Cambodian or something. I never went to school with white people, and if they was white, they wasn't the white people that I saw on TV. It was more hood than me. So the cultural difference of it was so many things that I wasn't prepared for. And so, like I said, I was taking a chemistry class. I meet the girl. She was like, I'm doing, it's the first couple weeks, but I'm doing pretty well in the class. You can see that, I was able to retain some of the stuff I had learned in high school. And I had like a certain affinity for chemistry at the time. I was just genuinely interested in it. So I tried hard. I was trying to, do my best. And the girl was struggling. So she come to me. She's like, hey, would you like to study? And so I hear all about college. My advisors the first couple of weeks is like, yo, you got to start study groups and you got to study with people and all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm naturally cautious of building those type of relationships. But when the opportunity come, I was open to it. So she comes, she's like, yo, let's study together. I'm like, bet, like, yeah, girl, let's. Like, I'm dead serious about school. I'm not like I'm aware of the fact that she's a female and she is attractive to me, at least. Like I feel as though she's attractive. And there's a little spark there, but I'm not even on that note. Like, I'm really just thinking about some school shit. Like, I'm okay, bet. Like, where you want to study at? Like, let's go to the library. Let's where we going? We're gonna meet up in the Union. And she like, no, just meet me in my room. She live on campus. I'm a commuter, so she like, yeah, I got like a desk and all this other stuff in my room. Just come meet me in my room. We can study there or whatever. Like, it's like I don't like being in the library. Mind you, I'm literally thinking none of this shit. So when she's saying all this, I'm like, cool. Like, you like your room better. Like, I study in my room at home. All right, cool. I'm literally not thinking nothing of it. So we set the study date up, and I head over. So I got I got my books all in my bag. I got note cards, highlighters. Like, I'm ready to study. I'm ready to go. I'm like I don't want her to think I'm dumb and I came here to play. Like, this is college, they serious. Thinking all of these straight non-sexual thoughts. And like I said, I get there and within a couple minutes, like I knew that she wasn't there to study. And so I get there or whatever. And I come in and she got her little desk. She told me to sit down, so I sit down. Start unzipping my book bag. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, we studying, baby. I take my book bag off, start putting my stuff on the table. She started getting undressed. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, in my head, I'm sitting there and I'm trying not to look at her, so I'm trying to be like a gentleman just off the simple fact of like she getting undressed. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe like she had a long, like this is her room. I'm like, yo, you want me to step out? She like, no, like not at all. Like, you cool, and give me like the little smirk. And that's when I knew, and I was like, she trying to fuck. And I was like mind blown. Like, I was sitting there like, yo, I'm sitting here, cause in the hood, it's like a whole different thing. Like the girls that I met that like were sexually promiscuous, they were just straightforward. It was just on some like, yo, like I'm trying, after school, like what's up? And it was straightforward. It wasn't no like coy. It wasn't no game. It wasn't like none of that. It was so. This was the first instance in which a woman, a girl, a woman, had basically like entrapped me with the sexuality. So like I said, I get to the room and she get undressed. And I'm like, yo, you want me to leave or something? Like she get ass naked basically. And I'm like, yo, you want me to leave? And she's like, no. And like the little smirk. And I'm like, I remember just being so taken aback. I'm like, she trying to like have like, oh shit, I didn't know. And I felt so unprepared, so I ain't got like no condom. Like, not my whole train of thought changes. I'm like, I'm unprepared. I ain't got no condom. Like, I wasn't even thinking about none of this. Like, why she ain't tell me? It was just all these things going through my mind. So we wound up like making out, something like that. Like, we studied, because I wasn't prepared, but we wound up like making out, shit like that. And I'm just like, oh shit. Like, did she really just trying to have sex with me? And I was so taken aback. And that was my first experience actually dealing with women's sexuality on campus. And because of that experience, what happened subsequently was I didn't do as well as I could have in that class. And I say that I share this experience because there are plenty of students, male and female, going through that. These are women learning about their own sexuality, wanting to explore themselves, never having opportunity or the space to do some of the things that they've been wanted to do, been, mentally prepared to do. In the same breath, there's men that are encountering women in a way that's new to them in terms of their new confidence, their new ability to express themselves. Excuse me. And because of that, shit, there's thousands of millions of kids getting distracted. Like, because of that, I wanted to going, like, me and the girl hooked up a couple times. I got a whole nother story about mono because of this story. Missed 2 weeks of class. So yeah, so stay tuned. The next one is that time in college when I got mono and I had to miss 2 weeks of class. So check me out, man. This is your boy Giovanni, Gio the Speaker. Follow me on IG at Giovanni the Speaker. You can check my Facebook page at Giovanni the Speaker and get at me, man. This is the storyteller, the stories of college, man. I'm trying to just share my experience so that other first gens can benefit from it. And so the purpose of that story of women's sexuality is I want to, like, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that went through that experience in college in terms of, like, encountering women's sexuality in that sense. And then also just getting caught up with that shit. Like, also, like, like, I'm not the only person that ever experienced that, but also I want to prepare the students who don't know, like, yo, listen, women are sexual beings, and you have to be mindful of that. Like, it's not like you men, I think it's so easy for us to get caught up in terms of sexuality. So, like, a lot of times I felt like I stumbled into some sexual shit that I felt like I had to participate in because I was a guy, and I would be punking out or, like, not following guy code by participating in some sexual shit that I'm straight. So, if I see some titties, I'm supposed to react to them. Or if a girl throwing herself at me, I'm supposed to catch it. Like, you get what I'm saying? And so a lot of, like, my experience in college kind of got sidetracked because of women. To be honest, like, my biggest thing in life has always been women. Like, I wasn't one of those kids that ran around and played sports and, like, or got in trouble. I just chased girls. That was it. I was trying to play catch a girl, freak a girl when I was a kid. Like, I was a little bird. So to get to college and to have that sexuality on full display, it was just, I was unprepared for that. I didn't understand it, and nobody had put it in context in terms of the ills of it. So yeah, people like, oh man, they got crazy up there. Nobody could tell me why I shouldn't be sexually promiscuous, why it would be such of a distraction. Nobody would articulate what it was like to not have focus. So, like, all right, well, if you got 3 classes and you got 3 women, you supposed to spend 2 to 3 hours outside of class a day on each class, and you're gonna have to spend at least 2 to 3 hours a day on each woman. How much time is you gonna have to study? The study to be realistic, and that's just something like where now I can put those 2 and 2 together. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, I wouldn't even, like, if we not studying the same things and we off the same page, and if I'm talking to multiple girls, just from experience, the time that it takes, like, on a day-to-day basis, and texting and talking, all of that crap, it just take time, and it's a distraction from your greater goal. Like, yo, you here for a reason. You didn't just come to college just to come to college, I hope. Just to follow a plan that somebody else set for you that you don't even know it worked. Like, that's not why you came to college. I really don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. But yeah, that's it, man. Let me get off here. I'll holler at y'all soon. Check me back.